If you're anything like me and you enjoy doom scrolling through TikTok, Instagram Reels, then you would have come across some wild skincare claims that sound really convincing but are just straight up nonsense.
This is the best way to eat your retinol.
I'm tired of people with clear skin promoting beef tallow to get rid of acne.
Pet to a sub.
As a dermatologist, I often see patients who come to clinic claiming that they are following a skincare trend, which can not only be unnecessary, but can potentially be damaging to their skin. So today, let's go through some of the most common skincare myths that need debunking. Some of these questions have been sent by my friend as well. And let's look at the science to see if they are actual facts or just simply a myth. Myth number 1, you need to pat skincare products into your skin for better absorption. Patting the skin is a well-known technique, especially in Asia like Japan and South Korea, where it is used as an alternative to rubbing. Well, people have said that if you pat your skincare onto your skin, it helps to increase blood flow, helps with absorption of the products, and it's less traumatic to your skin. But actually, scientifically speaking, when I looked into the literature and background behind this, there is zero evidence to back the claim that patting skincare onto your skin actually helps absorb the skincare better. Absorption actually depends on several factors like molecular size, formulation, and the delivery system. So whether you pat or rub your skincare products in doesn't really matter. That said, patting can actually be quite useful for more sensitive areas like under the eyes because excessive rubbing can actually cause some irritation. And for many people, patting is actually quite a therapeutic and relaxing ritual, which is totally fine. Just don't expect it to make your skincare any more effective. And no, you definitely don't need to use your pinky or ring finger to dab around the eyes. I think people tend to do that anyways because the eyelids are quite delicate and you don't want to cause too much trauma. Myth number 2, you should only use eye creams for under your eye. I might get a lot of hate for saying this, but we know that eye creams are often expensive, they are tiny, and let's be real, they are simply just thicker moisturizers. Unless they contain active ingredients like vitamin C or weak retinol, these eye creams probably won't do anything more than your standard facial moisturizer. In fact, you can just simply use Vaseline if you're not prone to spots or milia. Most people actually use eye creams to prevent or treat dark eye circles, but most dark circles are due to either genetic or vascular changes, and it's not something a cream can fix. Some eye creams can actually cause irritation because the skin around the eyes is generally quite sensitive, and the ingredients in the eye creams can actually sometimes lead to contact allergies, which actually is not as uncommon as you may think. And here's the most important bit. There is so few studies that look specifically at the effectiveness of eye creams for under eye skin. So if your regular facial moisturizer works well, you actually don't need a separate eye cream. Myth number 3, if your skincare tingles or burns, it means it's working. I've heard this saying so many times, no pain, no gain, but actually in reality, your daily skincare routine should not be uncomfortable. If something burns, it's usually a sign of irritation or inflammation and not effectiveness. It is a way of your skin telling you that something's just not right and that it's reacting to the product you are using. Now, never say never, because sometimes exfoliating acids like BHAs, AHAs, and even PHAs, as well as topical retinoids, can cause some skin irritation and make your skin slightly uncomfortable. But other ingredients like hyaluronic acid should not make your skin tingle because it's a humectant, meaning that it draws water into the skin. So the bottom line is, your daily skincare routine shouldn't hurt, because if it does, it means that either you're not using it properly or too frequently, or simply it's not agreeing with your skin. Myth number 4, hypoallergenic or natural skincare is always better. Now, we all love the word natural because it sounds safe, but actually, natural doesn't always mean it's better. Now, if you want to go all natural, things like poison ivy, snake venom, and arsenic are natural too, but you wouldn't want to be near any of them. The term hypoallergenic isn't regulated either, so brands can actually slap the term hypoallergenic on any products, and it doesn't mean anything. In fact, we need preservatives in skincare products in order to make the formulation stable and also help reduce the risk of infection. And this includes things like phenoxyethanol, which is actually safe in low concentrations, and they keep your products effective and stable. And if you compare these preservatives to things like essential oils and botanicals, they all sound really natural and nice, but they can often trigger contact allergy, which is quite ironic because then they actually causes skin irritation and inflammation. In fact, you see a lot of misinformation online and apps like Yuka, which can be quite misleading, where it highlights all the dangers of using preservatives when in actual fact we need preservatives to help stabilize the formulation. So instead of being scared about chemicals and preservatives, have a look at the active ingredients of the products themselves and see what benefits you can get from them. Myth number 5, dermatologist tested means that the product is trustworthy. This one is actually quite sneaky because what does dermatologist tested actually mean? In fact, as the name suggests, companies can actually pay any dermatologist to test the product once and then have the label dermatologist tested on their bottle. So this means technically I can test the product once, post about it, and then the company can label it as dermatologist tested. What I'm trying to say is that there is no standard definition behind this term. And whilst the term sounds reassuring, it doesn't really mean that the product is superior, more effective, or safer than the other. And what works for one person doesn't mean that it will work for the other person. I think what's important is to look at the active ingredients the product has, rather than just following blindly the brand itself. And this nicely brings me to the next myth, which is myth number 6, expensive skincare works better. Now, this is what every company wants you to know. If the product is worth hundreds to thousands, it must be better, right? Well, not necessarily. I myself have made this rookie mistake so many times by buying the most expensive skincare ingredient just to treat my acne and then realizing that it actually didn't work. And so now they are actually left sitting in my cupboard collecting dust as we speak. A lot of these products are due to marketing and branding rather than the actual active ingredients themselves. And actually, drugstore brands can actually be as effective provided that they have the same active ingredients. That said, some high-end brands do invest in better formulations, so you might tend to want to use them because they smell and they feel much nicer. Myth number 7, you can shrink your pore size. I can't believe I'm saying this, but pores are not doors. You can't open and close them. People often say cold water shrinks your pores and hot water opens them up. Actually, it doesn't. Now, the pore size itself is determined by your genetics, your age, your skin type, not by skincare or water. These pores are effectively openings of our hair follicles and oil glands, which produce oil or sebum, and we actually need pores in order to allow sweat and oils to escape. Pores can actually look bigger when they are blocked, and so here are some things that you might want to try to minimize their appearance. First of all, you can opt for a non-comedogenic skincare product in order to prevent clogging or blocking of the pores. You can also exfoliate your skin using things like BHA, which is good for oily skin. Next, you can try a topical retinoid to help with skin texture, and remember to always use sunscreen. So instead of trying to shrink your pores down or make them disappear, try to keep them clear and healthy instead. Myth number 8, you should only use mineral sunscreen during pregnancy. There's a common fear around using chemical sunscreen and pregnancy. And whilst it's not entirely unfounded, it is more of a caution rather than actual danger. So during pregnancy, your hormones change and you're more prone to getting melasma or hyperpigmentation. And actually, the very important thing you need to do is to protect yourself against the sun, because it's the #1 risk factor for melasma. Mineral sunscreens like zinc oxide and titanium dioxide are probably the safest, because they remain on the skin and are very rarely absorbed into the bloodstream. According to this study, chemical sunscreens containing oxybenzone can actually be absorbed into the bloodstream, although I have to say that there is no proven harm at this current absorption level. If you're pregnant and you want to play safe, then stick to mineral sunscreens, and there are tons of mineral sunscreens out there on the market, which feels nice, easy to use on the skin. The last thing you want is to avoid sunscreens altogether during pregnancy, because you not only are prone to getting hyperpigmentation, but with UV damage, you are also prone to getting skin cancers if you're not protected. Myth number 9, you don't need a sunscreen if you have darker skin tone. Now, this one really needs to go. And yes, even though darker skin types have more melanin or pigment and it provides a natural sun protection, it is not enough to prevent sun damage and skin cancer. You can actually get sunburn even in darker skin types. Hyperpigmentation and uneven skin tones are more prone in darker skin types, and UV exposure makes it worse. And even though skin cancers in darker skin types are rare, they do happen and they present at a later stage with a different morphology. And so yes, I would say everyone needs a sunscreen no matter what their skin tone is. In fact, if you want to reduce the chances of you getting hyperpigmentation, especially if you are of a darker skin type, you not only need to protect yourself against UVB, but also UVA and visible light. And if you're interested in some of the products that contain all three protection, I have listed them down in the description box below. And lastly, myth number 10, you can only use topical vitamin C in the morning. Now, vitamin C is a powerful antioxidant as it helps fight radical oxygen species. So most people use it during the day for this benefit, and you can actually pair it with your daily sunscreen to provide an extra layer of protection. You can actually use vitamin C at night as well for other purposes, such as brightening the skin, evening out the pigmentation, and also promoting collagen synthesis. Just make sure that your vitamin C doesn't go beyond 20%, as anything more doesn't mean that it's better and actually can cause more irritation. And generally speaking, keep your vitamin C bottle in a dark, dry cupboard, because vitamin C is usually quite unstable and can oxidize very easily when exposed to air and sunlight. And so these are the top 10 skincare myths that we've debunked in this video today. I hope you enjoy watching this. If you do, please check out my other skincare videos in the description box below. Please also suggest any other video ideas you would like me to make, and I'll be sure to have a think about it. See you again next time. Bye bye.